Wanted to make a quick video today talking about uh, picking a shoe to make a custom shoe out of. I've been watching a lot of reruns of the matches over the winter, and a lot of these guys are using weightlifting shoes. And I kind of get it, but I have a lot of questions on if I ever had a chance to talk to them why they picked that to have that their custom-made curling shoe. There's one guy on the American team who uses a pair of Jordans. I believe I'm not even going to guess, but an earlier model of the Jordans, one of the classic models that Michael Jordan used to wear back when he played, and that was a very flat bottom. And I think he's onto the right idea. In my opinion, I think why people are choosing weightlifting shoes to make into custom curling shoes is because they're flat and they do have somewhat more support with the low, like not the high top model, but the low top models. And it really locks in your foot because weightlifters need a lot of just support around their foot to get that explosion. But I've been getting back into lifting a little bit myself, and I started watching these guys who are really good at weightlifting. And when they're doing their deadlifts and squats and stuff like that, they're taking their shoes off completely. And then in a lot of their stuff, they're wearing Air Max 1s or something like that, which is simple as day basketball shoe that people have been wearing forever. So it got me questioning. I'm a big basketball fan, and I really like basketball shoes. I always think that they're the coolest. But I have a couple of other options here today that got me kind of thinking maybe there's shoes that would fit one person's style versus another. So I do not have a pair of weightlifting shoes. I used to have a pair of karate shoes, which is very similar. I did some Taekwondo and did some Shaolin Kung Fu when I was really young. But it was exactly the same as the weightlifter. What it is contact and grippiness on the ground to execute your move or your lift. And that's really great for that sport. It's a smooth rubber bottom. There's no little tread or anything on the bottom. And what that is in their opinion, that's what's going to grip the mat the most and be able to either launch that kick or fire up through their lifts. And like I said, a lot of weightlifters are just dropping it. And so to me, that doesn't really correlate to curling, that stick and plant movement. And so I started thinking about it in other ways. Okay, because I'm getting weaker as I get older, I'm looking for a little bit more explosiveness when I shoot out of the hack to get a higher weight takeout to make a fancier shot than I normally could. And I think that's where the basketball shoes are key. All they are looking for, besides side-to-side movement, but a lot of it is launching on impact and springing towards that. And even if you were pushing out for guard weight, you still want you always want a little bit extra versus nothing at all. So looking at all these shoes, I started flex testing with my hands. I'm not that smart, so I'm just working and mashing and stuff like that. And the basketball shoes seem to spring a little bit more, and of course they're designed to. They're designed to absorb impact when you come down from a jump, and it's also supposed to help launch you fractionally a little bit higher. But what's most important with basketball shoes is they are designed to hold your foot for that explosion in all the right areas. You see here, there's this thing right there, and it's for cutting, when you're making cuts in basketball, but it's also, in my opinion, it really holds my foot nice, so even my little toe muscles at the end can give me a little bit extra launch, and it just holds it real nice and compressed with basketball shoes. With weightlifting shoes, you get that nice tight fit, but you do not get that little bit of extra explosion in there. Also, with those weightlifting shoes, it has a huge thick layer of rubber. Now these do too. And granted, we're going to put a slider on it, so it's a little bit, it dampens what your feel is on the hack and stuff like that. But as I got better and better through the year, curling last year, I started to notice when I'm launching my angle a little bit more steep, I would notice my foot would be on that outside curvature of the hack, so I could launch that way more efficiently. And I started thinking another sport I'm just getting back into and did for a long time was skateboarding. And I've seen people make a lot of custom-made shoes out of skateboarding shoes. And I get it. It's flat, it's easy, you can run one piece along it, and it's really great. What's also really great about skateboarding shoes is skateboarding is all about the feel of the board underneath your feet, and whether you're flicking it and then catching it, kickflip, 360 flip, whatever you're doing, you want that little bit of feel, but you also want to be able to manipulate your feet, your ankle, your toes to get that flick. Now, what these new skateboarding shoes are doing, they're kind of like those free run shoes that they make nowadays, but what I've really noticed is my foot is glued to the board. And for somebody maybe who is not used to sliding around on ice as much, my theory is maybe get yourself a pair of these skateboarding shoes and make or have made little sliders on these individual squares. So when you're on the surface of the ice and you get a little bit off balance, you can use all your balance muscles in your foot to counteract that so you don't beef it on the ice. Now, but on the negative end, comparable to the basketball shoe, these are so flexible and stuff like that because skateboarders do want a good launch, but they need the feel and the mobility when they're falling and landing weird and stuff like that their foot just doesn't get caught up and just snap, which my leg has done before. So you're not getting that explosion, but you're getting that feel. So maybe when you're in the hack and you're lining up that perfect shot, if you're a more precise person, you can feel the hack just like you feel the curvature of the skateboard when you're underneath it. This is a weird shoe I found. My sister and my dad got really into triathlons one year, and this is one of his old shoes. And what this is it's forcing you with this weird extra tread on the bottom to run on your toes. Now I found this and I was really messing with it, and it seemed to have even more spring than a basketball shoe just from my rudimentary little kind of smush and squeeze and bend and stuff like that. But I thought that was really cool. Also, what's really cool about this shoe, if you are a more advanced person in curling and you like to slide on your toes, the slider foot, you get the explosion with this foot, but then the slider foot, you're on your toe just more naturally with this Newton, like Isaac Newton. The number on this is 02511. But I thought that was really interesting. Now, someone who's wants to get into the sport but's terrified, I really think beginner curlers maybe should look at high top shoes. You get more ankle support, and when you're sliding out of the hack with your slider foot, that side to side little ankle give might be alleviated when you tie that thing up tight. You're naturally cutting off a pivot point on your ankle. So eventually I'm going to make this lightweight Nike boot into a shoe. Granted, there is very little give. Now, granted, when you have 230, 240 weight like I do on this shoe, it will probably bend. But again, you're dampening a lot of your sensors on the bottom of your feet with this much feel, or this much sole on the bottom of your shoe. So I just wanted to put that out there. If anybody has any other comments, ideas of different types of shoes that would really lend itself to curling, please drop a comment below. Come to the curling club in Bemidji next season, and please talk. I'll be there and I'll talk for days about it. But in my opinion, for me, I'm leaning more basketball shoe because it's a good all-around shoe. I'm very curious to try the skateboarding shoe and the Newton shoe, the running shoe. But I'll eventually try to find my old karate shoe or a weightlifting shoe and try that out. I mean, that's what the big guns are using out there. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, please leave any ideas, the dumber the better, down below. All right, bye.